You're watching TVSA, television for San Antonio.
Welcome to Behind the Badge. I'm Officer Robert Dart, your host, and it's that time of year again. We are at Fiesta time, so it's time to start getting ready and get your Fiesta hats on. With us today is Lieutenant Biesenbach, Lieutenant Billy Biesenbach with the San Antonio Police Department. Lieutenant, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Lieutenant, you want to go ahead and tell us what your position is this year at the Fiesta events for the year?
This year I'm going to be the Fiesta commander over the carnival, so I'll be at the carnival the whole time, making sure it's safe and sound for everybody to attend.
Okay. Well, since Fiesta's on everybody's mind, do we know dates this year?
Yes, the Fiesta events start on April 26th and run through April 26th.
Okay. Let's see here. Since you're the commander for the carnival, let's go ahead and dive into that. Let's talk about a little bit about the carnival. Well, first, we wanted to pop up a website concerning if anybody had any information concerning Fiesta as a whole. That website.
Yes, you can click on was it fiesta-sa.org.
Okay.
And you can check on their calendar, and it'll list all the Fiesta events for the 2009 Fiesta event. And also, I would recommend if people are going to be doing a lot of Fiesta, they can go by the Fiesta Commission office and get this Fiesta pamphlet as well.
Okay.
That also lists all the events.
Okay, that's good advice there. Well, let's talk about the carnival then. Where do you want to start off first?
Well, the carnival will be held again at the Alamo Dome, located at 100 Montana, which in parking lot C, which is on the corner of Montana and Cherry Street. It was for the first time, and since I've been on it over 20 years, they have relocated from downtown to the Alamo Dome, and it was a huge success last year. It is much more open than it was downtown. There's more rides. The booths and events that are going on at the carnival are easier to get to, and it's just a much better place to have it.
What was the public's response to the department or the Fiesta Commission moving the carnival to the Dome versus downtown? Was it positive?
It was very positive. We had large crowds every night at the carnival, and since I've been working it, it seemed like there were more families there. Everybody was enjoying themselves and having a great time at the carnival.
I guess parking is probably a big issue. At least it was downtown. Has it improved going to the Dome at this point?
It has. Parking is still an issue down there, but they have parking lot B, which is directly adjacent to the carnival, that they are allowing people that are driving down there that if they would like to pay for parking, you can pay and park in parking lot B, and then you can utilize additional parking in the downtown area and walk across. And also I would recommend people, if they're going to be coming down there, if they're concerned about the parking, to perhaps look at riding via the bus down there and do a park and ride.
Well, during Fiesta, parking is going to be an issue anyway in the downtown area because everybody's going to head down there for the events.
It always
That's
is.
good advice as far as utilizing VIA, and I believe they have their website is viainfo.net, and park and ride is probably the best bet then. Would you say?
Absolutely. A lot of people use it every year. It's safe, it's convenient, and you don't have to worry about it as far as the drinking and driving issue. They're going to take care of you on the bus.
Now, does VIA drop off directly there at the Dome for folks going to Fiesta, or going to the carnival, that is?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Let's talk about kid safety.
Kid safety is a top priority for the police officers that are working the carnival. One thing that we instruct officers at the roll calls and so forth is to keep their eyes open, and if they see a small child walking around appears to perhaps be lost, to go up and check on that child's safety and well-being and make sure if they are lost, then we can locate the parents. And last year we had less incidences of lost children. I contribute that to the area being more open and not as congested and crowded, which would be easier to lose your little one in. So the officers are doing that, and they're making a difference out there, keeping track of these children. But we'd also like to recommend, prior to showing up to the carnival, that the parents instruct their children that if they do end up getting separated from them, is to go up to a police officer and let him know that they are lost or that their parents are lost. So we had a lot of lost parents last year. The children weren't lost. So if they would go up and let us know, we will get them reunited with their parents.
Yeah, with big crowds, it's easy for parents and kids to get separated there.
Sure.
That's good advice. I guess you're saying, going back to being more open then, so there's a lot more elbow room, I guess, for people to walk around, so that probably contributed to less lost children then.
Absolutely. It is. And as I mentioned earlier, it's easier to get from the different rides, to get to the booths. It's just spread out more evenly, as opposed to in the middle of a street, how it was set up for many, many years.
Right. And if it takes a while for a parent to get relocated with their child, what is the police department doing with the children?
We usually have the officer, if we do locate a lost child, we have the officer remain at that where he finds a child for about 15 minutes. Because a lot of times the parent's probably within 20 to 50 feet from them, and they can easily see the officer, and they'll come over and we can give them back. If not, if it's after that 15 minutes, we ask the officers bring that child to our Carnival Command Post, which is located on the northeast corner of Parking Lot C, where the carnival's at.
Okay.
And at that point, the description's put out, and the parents will usually come to a police officer and say, I've lost my child, and then we can redirect them to the command post and reunite them with their child.
Well, that'll be easy for us, since we all have radios. We have
Absolutely.
direct communication with one another. Is other parade safety that we want to discuss? Safety as far as the carnival, and that's what's not allowed to be brought in. What is it? Do we have a list of those items?
Any type of ice chest or cooler, you can't bring drinks in there. Of course, any weapons, and that includes lock blade knives. Even if you utilize it at work, it is a city ordinance violation, and we will be taking law enforcement action. Of course, any type of handguns or anything like that, any weapons at all, are strictly prohibited, and we will be on a close lookout for anybody trying to get any of these things in the carnival.
I noticed in the past, glass containers have been a problem. Is that going to be the case this year, that those are prohibited as well?
There are no glass containers prohibited. That's correct.
So that includes soda bottles, beer bottles, etc.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, you want to move on to the parade then and talk about some of the issues, some of the safety issues with the parade?
Sure.
All right. Who else besides the San Antonio Police Department are going to be involved, not just with the parade, but other Fiesta events?
Well, at the carnival, we're going to have the TABC unit will usually come through and monitor for underage drinking. Our Vice unit will also be out there monitoring the game booths and so forth. They're responsible for following up on any complaints that we have with that. And they'll be out there also watching for underage drinking. That can be an issue out there, and that's something that we enforce strictly as well.
Okay. And how are we going to utilize the fire department, teaming up with the fire department?
The fire department, especially during parade days, which is going to be April 24th is the Battle of Flowers, and April 25th is the Flambeau
Yes, sir.
parade. They will have EMS staff on bicycles traveling up and down the route and looking for any type of medical emergencies that may come up. You know, when you have 200,000 or 300,000 people along that route, there usually someone becomes overheated or dehydrated and may need the assistance of EMS, and that's what they're there for, to assist with that.
Well, that's good to know. As far as parade, what do people need to prepare as far as for the parade if they're going to be heading out to either the day parade or the night parade on Flambeau?
Well, because of the crowds and the traffic issues that we talked about, it's always good to be prepared and plan to get down there early. Don't wait until the last minute, because so many people will be trying to get there as well. It always seems to happen where the weather is either really, really hot or, plan for rain. Something like that's going to happen. So, bring your water down there. Make sure you plan with sunblock and everything else, because you're out there for 4, 5, 6 hours in the direct sun.
Right.
You can have some problems. But also as you park, parking's a big issue. Even at the carnival and at the parade, we ask that people be conscious of the no parking areas, the no parking signs that are posted, and that they abide by them, because we will relocate the vehicles, and there could be some citation issues involved. And we ask that they be conscious of those.
That's a good advice. Let's go to Niosa then. One of the big, Niosa is a big party time. I know people like to have a good time, but we want people to party responsibly. And what's your advice as far as anybody that's heading down to Niosa?
Well, it would be to designate a designated driver, to find a designated driver before you go down there and make sure that that person is going to drive them home. If for some reason they don't do that, then we'd like to encourage them to utilize either the Via Park and Ride again, or get a taxi cab. Don't go down there and drink and then get in your vehicle and drive. We will have additional officers working our roadways in San Antonio looking for those individuals.
Okay. We have the DWI unit that'll be out in force. Are we going to include extra manpower those nights?
Yes, we will. There will be additional officers on the highways looking for these violators.
Oh, that's excellent. Let's go to Market Square. That's another big event that a lot of folks gather to. What is your advice for those folks heading down to Market this year?
The same thing. Plan on parking. Plan on getting there early to find good parking. There again, if you take your children down there, make sure you let them know that if they get lost, to go to find a police officer, and we will reunite them with their parents. And just be conscious of your drinking, and if you go down there again, if you have drinks and so forth, make sure you don't get behind that wheel and decide to drive home.
All right. So anybody heading to Fiesta, the advice from Lieutenant Wiesenbach is utilize VIA as best as possible. And again, that information is viainfo.net. And to utilize the park and rides, that's very important. And if people are looking for information on just Fiesta as a whole, Lieutenant, that information to go to their website?
And go to their website, and also, as I mentioned, you can contact the Fiesta Commission office. They're located off of Broadway, and they will be glad to send you any information or direct you to the website as well. But that's probably your best source, is to go to the Fiesta Commission. They have every event listed.
That's good advice. All right. Well, thank you, Lieutenant. Any last-minute advice here as we send folks out the door to head out for Fiesta?
Just be safe, and we're looking forward to having a great Fiesta for 2009. It's going to be safe and fun, and everybody's going to have a great time.
Thank you. Well, thanks for being
here. Thank you.
We'll recap here in just a few minutes, and we'll be right back on Behind the Badge.
These are just some of the things that can happen if you drink and drive. I'm Police Chief William McManus. If you're drinking and driving, you're hurting this community. Are you ready to live with the consequences? Think about it. It's just not worth it. Call a cab. Don't drink and drive.
DefLink is now available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in all of our substations and in our downtown headquarters. It allows us to easily communicate with citizens who rely on American Sign Language. So if you need assistance and you require this special sign language tool, just stop by your local substation and we're ready to help you.
Let's sit down for a second, okay, sweetie?
Hey, Kayla, there's Mary from your class.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Kayla. Come and play.
Oh, sweetie, sweetie. Why don't you go play with those kids over there?
Why?
Imagine the power of one voice. Find yours at freedomcenter.org.
And welcome back to Behind the Badge. I'm Officer Robert Dart, your host. Recently, the San Antonio Police Department utilized a new system where online reporting is going to be utilized by citizens of the city of San Antonio, therefore making it easier for citizens to kind of generate their own report. And we've put together a video for you so you can understand a little bit better.
How to utilize the San Antonio Police Department's new online reporting using the internet. First, from any computer, what you want to do is access the internet, usually by clicking on the blue E icon. Next, change the internet address bar to reflect the address of the San Antonio website. The address for the city of San Antonio is www.sanantonio.gov. Once you're on the home page of the city of San Antonio, you'll see over to the right-hand side a box that says Top Links. One of the top links listed says Police. Clicking on that link takes you directly to the San Antonio Police Department's home webpage. You can also access this webpage, if you're more familiar with the internet and computers, by typing in the address bar www.sanantonio.gov/SAPD. However you arrive at the home page, once you're there, you'll see that in the middle of the page, there's a block that says New Info, SAPD Smart Initiative, and Filing Police Reports. The SAPD SMART Initiative stands for Strategic Management Accelerated Response Time. It is a program designed to enhance officers' ability to respond to more serious crimes in a more timely manner. There is a PDF available that explains this in more detail. For now, let's go back to online reporting. Filing police reports, if you click on that link, the next page will explain a little bit about this policy and how you can make your own online reports. As you see here marked with the red arrow, filing online reports, that's more or less in the center of the screen and slightly to the left. Clicking on that link takes us to the next page of filing online property crime reports and other reports that are available on the San Antonio Police website. Please make sure to look at the types of crimes that are available for reporting online prior to filling out your report. There are various types of offenses that can be reported via the internet. Now, one question you may have is, why would someone want to report a crime via the internet instead of having an actual officer dispatched to the location of where the crime occurred? Well, everyone's situation is different. But let's say, for example, you wake up in the morning and your vehicle has been burglarized. Your options are A, now you will be late to work and you have to wait for an officer to arrive to take the report, or since 1, you do not know when this happened during the nighttime, and 2, you have no idea who committed the crime, you can simply go to work. Once you arrive at your place of business, use the internet to fill the online report, and a case number will be emailed back to you. Now let's go through a sample of what the online reporting form looks like. If we scroll down, the first box you see there is that you will have to select from a number of options that we just viewed on the previous page regarding what specific crime you would like to report. There's also blue accident forms, those to be used in cases where there are no injuries and it's a minor accident. There's also a forged check form and a credit card abuse form that can be downloaded, filled out, and emailed back to the police department. For now, let's run through a sample online report to see just how easy it is to fill out your own report with the San Antonio Police Department. You must make sure that all required fields are filled in as completely and accurately as possible to ensure that your report is filed. in the middle of the page there, you'll see a box with the word select entered in the box. The arrow that's pointing down at the end of that box is called a drop-down menu. If we click on that drop-down menu, you'll see a variety of choices that you will have to make in order to properly title this offense report. In this particular case, we have a variety of burglaries, thefts, criminal mischiefs, or graffiti choices that we can make. It is important to remember that this is not a tool to be used for crimes that are in progress. This is only a tool to be used when the crime has already happened and there are no suspects. For the purposes of this demonstration, we'll choose theft, $0 to $500. Make sure you complete your full name as well as your complete mailing address, date of birth, and any other particulars to properly identify you as the person who is the victim of this crime. A phone number is extremely useful so that a detective may contact you for follow-up, and also it's important to remember to include your email address when you submit this report. The reason being is since you are submitting your report electronically, that's how the police department will receive your report via the internet. Therefore, in order for us to give you a case number, we will email it back to you. So it's very important that you include this email address. There's a variety of description of the locations of where the crime occurred that you can choose from. If for some reason none of these seem to match your particular situation, the very bottom says Other. By checking Other, this notifies the person who will be reading the report that you will enter more specific details in the detail box at the very bottom of this report as to the type of location. The next item is the blue box highlighted here, which is for the listing of the property that was either damaged or taken during this event. In case you're reporting a burglary vehicle, there's a separate section to properly identify the vehicle that was involved in this crime. Make sure you double check all VIN numbers and license plate numbers prior to submitting this report. If we move further down along the page towards the bottom of the report, you will see a small text box that will allow you to put in some details and briefly explain the situation in your own words to the best of your ability. Now again, not every situation will allow you to report your crime online. However, if your particular situation calls for it, you'll find that it not only saves the officer time, but it also saves the consumer time, as you do not have to wait for an officer to arrive at your location. It is a crime to make a false report to the police department or any police agency. Please be advised that the information that you provide to us must be as accurate as possible. Report any false crimes, as this is a misdemeanor under the Texas Penal Code. Once you are sure that all boxes have been filled out, all you do is click on the Submit button in the middle of your screen, and then shortly thereafter you will receive a case number. This concludes the video presentation for online reports. We hope that you'll be able to use this and find it useful in the future.
And welcome back to Behind the Badge. I'm Officer Robert Dart, your host, and with us today is Lieutenant Billy Biesenbach with the San Antonio Police Department, Fiesta Commander for the Carnival this year.
That's correct, yes.
All right, Lieutenant, we only have a few minutes left, so let's recap about Fiesta. What are we looking at as far as dates this year?
Fiesta will start on April 16th and run through April 26th, with the two parades being April 24th, which is the Battle of Flowers, and the Fiesta Flambeau on the 25th.
All right. And any information that anybody needs for Fiesta, they can go to the website?
There's two websites the first one would be for the Fiesta itself that lists all the events and times and locations. You can get that on the website that's listed at the bottom of the page here.
Okay. That's fiesta-sa.org.
That's correct.
Okay.
And also, if you can check with the VIA as well and find out if there will be the park and ride going to your event and plan that way.
And that's what you're suggesting folks do if they're heading down to the carnival this year for park and ride, correct?
As far as even if park and ride does not actually go to that event, that still the buses run through that area down there, and they could utilize the VIA bus to get down to the Alamo Dome area to walk over there.
And park and ride will be going directly to the Alamo Dome, just to recap, correct?
It should be, yes.
Okay, good. A couple of things that we want to discuss. What's not allowed at the carnival again this year?
Any type of containers, ice chest, coolers, and especially weapons of any kind, lock blade knives, or any type of firearms are, of course, prohibited. And we will be looking for those types of items as they come in and taking the appropriate action if we locate any.
Okay, no pets?
The only type of pet that you can bring in is if you have a working animal, such as if you need that animal for that dog or whatever it might be, for like a seeing eye dog or something like that. They will allow those.
And no glass containers?
No glass containers, that's correct.
Okay. And let's hit on kid safety one more time here. If we do encounter a lost child, what are the police instructed to do?
The police will remain there with the child for about 15 minutes or so to see if the parent will locate us holding the child. And if not, that child will be taken back to our carnival command post, and the officers out at the carnival will be looking for the parents as well. And last year we had several that ended up were lost, and we were able to reunite them with their parents with no problems whatsoever.
Okay. And this year we can look for the carnival to be at the new location. Well, last year it was a new location, but it'll be new location still, I guess, seeing that it's been downtown for so many years.
That's right. This is the second year at the Alamo Dome. Again, it's at 100 Montana, parking lot C. It's on the corner of Montana and Cherry Street. And last year was a great success. Lots of families came out there. They had a lot of fun. Everybody had a good time.
Okay, good. Let's quickly talk about some of the parade safety. Who's going to be out there helping us with the parade this year?
Parade, the fire department will be out there with us. They're out there every year, working the route as well, checking for anybody that may have a medical emergency or a medical condition that needs assistance, and they'll be out there assisting us on that end of it.
Okay, good. And NIOSA, we want to stress, partying responsibly.
Absolutely. Don't drink and drive. That is the most important thing. Utilize a designated driver, utilize VIA, get a taxi cab, whatever it takes to get you home safely. That's what we want you to do.
Okay. And Fiesta, same goes there. I mean, I'm sorry, the Market Square events as well. We want to stress that people party responsibly down in that area as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll have officers stationed throughout Market Square as well this year.
Yes.
Again. We will. Okay. Again, fiesta-sa.org for any Fiesta information.
That's correct.
And they will have all the dates. And you had mentioned earlier a brochure that you can pick up where again?
You can pick up at the Fiesta Commission itself. You can contact them. I'm sure they'll be glad to mail you one of these. It lists every event that's going on during the 2009 Fiesta, to include the Carnival, of course, Market Square, NIOSA, Oyster Bake. There's a lot of events going on that I can't even name in here.
Right.
There's so many. But this right here gives you everything, the locations, the dates and times and all that. So.
And again, we want to let people know that VIA will be doing the park and ride. So viainfo.net is the website to go to for that information.
That's correct.
So we're going to have a good Fiesta this year?
We're going to have a great Fiesta, just especially when you're at the parade. We have those 200,000 or 300,000 people down there. Be patient. Be safe, and plan ahead.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us here today, Lieutenant Biesenbach.
Thank you.
Enjoyed having you on Behind the Badge this time.
Well, thank you very much.
All right. And we'll see you next time on Behind the Badge.